What is going on, people? Ryan Wyatt for High Point Music, and today we have a very, very cool lesson. We're going to break down a musical technique of John Frusciatne from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So what we're going to do a bit of a technical analysis, see what's going on, and then I'm going to give you some exercises with a backing track I put together so you can get your single note lines sounding super fat and super funky just like this. So let's drop this intro and get at today's lesson. We're going to break down the technique John Frusciatne is using for his single note lines from the Red Hot Chili Peppers song Can't Stop. So let's jump in on the fretboard, and here's what's going on. Nice and steady, people. Alright, so what we've got, very funky, very percussive single note technique. So what he's actually doing, here are the notes of the riff. So we've got, just playing it very, very plain and straight. We've got our first finger on the 7th, and then we go down the G string and the D. So, alright, cool. So that's what it sounds like if we're just doing the single notes like that. But the way Frusciatne is actually playing this is he's laying his first finger nice and flat. So the middle of the finger is actually fretting the note there, but the D string around it and the E string, so the two surrounding strings, are actually being muted by the fingertip up top, and then the D string is being muted by the pad of the finger laying across it. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So just like this, it sounds like a bit of let's say a beginner trying to fret their first chord, for example. So when we speed that up, the notes on the surrounding strings actually provide that really thick percussive effect. So I'll just go, just hitting those 3 strings like that. 2, 3, like that. So if you hear the single note on its own, with the percussive effect, okay, so it sounds a lot thicker, a lot deeper. So if we transfer that idea down to the next 2 notes, okay, on the D string and on the E, note E there, sorry, not D string, we've got the note E there, so we're going, you can hear it there. Just like that. So if we go really steady, 1, 2, 3, and note the position that my fingers are getting in to play these notes. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And again. So this is probably pretty counterintuitive for a lot of people out there, particularly with single note technique. We're all taught to get up on our fingertips, or we should be, if we want to have very efficient movement getting across the instrument. But to get certain emotions and certain feelings across with your playing, we have to alter our technique to be able to translate these things that we're feeling or we're trying to express on the instrument. So this technique is very, very effective at really adding a lot of attitude and thickness to our lines. And the way you can incorporate that is just going really, really steady, getting through this, making sure your fingers laid nice and flat, and that we're hitting some of those surrounding strings above it. So let's go through that nice and steady with the pick so you can see what the right hand is doing to help contribute to the sound. 3, 4. So the thing to keep in mind with this technique is it's more of an art than a science. So you probably heard when I was playing that I probably popped a few extra notes or strings. So this isn't something which is quite scientific and cold that we do in a laboratory. This is something where those little extra notes and pops, just like in styles like blues and rock, those little extra notes and sounds add to the attitude and the feel that we're trying to get across with our playing. So don't stress too much if you hit an extra string or you're getting some extra open notes. It all adds to the sound, and as you get better control with this technique, you'll be able to tighten that up But just enjoy the journey with the thickness and the funkiness as you develop your technique with these sounds. All right, part 2, people of the lesson, what we're going to get onto now is I'm going to give you a backing track I've put together and give you some cool little techniques and exercises which you can start practicing this up and developing this technique for yourself at home to have super fat and funky lines. All right, cool. So what we've got is a backing track here I've whacked together. It's in the key of B flat minor. So what we're going to do, popping up on the screen here, we've got our B flat. So we've got a B flat minor pentatonic that we're going to use as a basis of our exercises here. So let's get at it and get into it. So step number 1, people, we're just going to start off doing something really simple, nice and rhythmic, okay? But the purpose behind this is we want to try and just get the technique moving on a couple of notes, get that feel moving. So here we go, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So with this one, we're trying to get that percussive element with the surrounding strings, making that really crunchy, muted sound to help get the thickness of that line across. What we want to look at next is taking that idea and moving it across some more strings. So the idea of this is to develop the feel with your fingers on the smaller strings, particularly across your fretboard, so you can feel comfortable expressing yourself in any position on the fretboard. Let's kick this loop off. So you might take that idea and drop it down a string, for example, to the B string. 2, 3. So furthermore, with that idea is once you get comfortable moving it around the strings, then try improvising a little bit more expressively and putting together your own phrases with that one. You can easily create all sorts of cool ideas and cool sounds and really get that thickness and funky sort of attitude across with your playing. All right, people, and the last exercise we're going to look at, or practice idea for you all out there, is actually incorporating this idea into your other areas of improvisation. So once you're feeling really, really comfortable with this idea, then you can start incorporating it as a specialist technique into your playing. So what we'll do is kick our loop off. Alright, cool. So this is just a basic little rundown of some ideas of incorporating the different ideas in with that percussive technique. So people, with that, there's 3 exercises you can use to start developing all those ideas so you too can have super fat and super thick lines, just like John Frusciatne of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Another bonus one with this is as you get more comfortable, you don't have to concentrate so much on your picking technique. So if you've ever seen John Frusciatne up on stage with the Chili Peppers playing like a badass, he doesn't have time to think about what strings he's hitting. He's just got this technique down and he's just rocking out, playing what he feels. So like all good things, people, they all must come to an end, and that wraps up what we're going to cover in today's lesson. If you appreciate the value of this content, smash those like, subscribe, and share buttons. If you would like to get my help personally, the best way to do that is to book an 8-week tailored video program where we work together in a one-on-one capacity. After a consultation period, I'll put together a program to take you from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time. Otherwise, you can support the channel, and what we're doing here at High Point Music is via the PayPal donate function. So either click on the link in the description below or on the website and simply donate whatever amount you feel represents the content for you. So some super cool ideas for you to incorporate and start practicing into your own playing. Don't forget, people, free backing track up at highpointmusic.com.au, completely free. There's no rubbish with credit cards or anything like that. Just go in, takes a second to sign up, become a member, and have access to all these great resources that we're offering with our tutorials. So people, practice hard, get at all those ideas and start ripping them into your own playing. And I look forward to hearing from you on the comment section and catching you all in the next video. Until then.